Alright, how we doing, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Wolf, and welcome back to my game of the decade. This is Fellowship. This is my favorite game of arguably all time. I think it's taken the spot. But this is going to be the ultimate tanking beginner's guide. So I'm going to try to make this as simple as possible. I'm going to try and tell you everything that the elitist WoW players are going to gatekeep from you. Because one of my moderators wanted me to make this video because they're worried about tanking. They don't want to get yelled at, and they don't want to look like an idiot. However, this is your call to arms if you are watching this video. We need more tanks. If you are having queue problems, what you might wind up having happen to you is that there is 2% of the population that are tanks right now. So think about it like this. We have 2% of the people as tanks, so if you play tank, what happens is you go all the way up to Paragon very, very quickly, which is fantastic for the tank player. However, it makes it so all the people queuing contender no longer have any tanks to fill their queues. So, do you have a bugged queue if you've been sat in it for 33 minutes? Or do we have 2% of the player base in tanks who have gone this way? This is your call to arms, fellas. Tank some contender. Now is the best time to do it because nobody has any goddamn gear or any knowledge of what they're particularly doing in lower tiers. So, with that being said, this is going to be just my absolute basics guide to tanking in Fellowship / MMOs. I'm going as simple as possible for as many people as possible because I vastly underestimated the player skill of the people coming to Fellowship absolutely flat off, and I could not imagine fully starting an MMO in 2025 with absolutely new skills. So I'm going to do my best to accelerate you guys as much as I possibly can. The link is on screen for my Fellowship invite code. Feel free to add me through the invite panel on the friends list here. I am running keys and tanking keys for viewers on stream. So if you need a Sith Rules Ascent timed, I will get there and try and help you. So, that being said, let's get into the basics. First things first is going to be settings and UI. You're going to want to set your UI up in a way that is absolutely comfortable for you. I would highly suggest to do not copy mine, do not copy a streamer's, do not copy anyone's. Make one that works for you, where your eyes are going to look naturally. Learn the game, understand what you're looking for, and then set up your UI in a way that works for you and allows you to have the easiest access to everything you need. In my case, this game doesn't have access to tell me whens, so I made the entire UI a tell me when. I can see my entire team over here. I can see my entire set of action bars because there's no cooldown trackers, even though Hamish did show them off on a stream. Implement them back, please. I very badly want them. And then I have my ulti over here, and my health bar, and my target underneath, with target of target over here, and debuffs and stuff here and here. Down here, I have a dedicated spot for boss timers. So if I want to see what the boss is doing, you look at the bottom of the screen, and then the boss health bar is on the other side. I should arguably put the boss health bar around the same spot, but you know, I'm adjusting as I go. Like I said, make your UI as useful to yourself as humanly possible. So from there, into settings. Next thing you're going to want to do is go right down to the bottom of your gameplay menu, set your interrupt target, please God do this. Set yourself an interrupt target and your interrupt focus target, so then you can use a button, set yourself to interrupt, and then if you hit your interrupt key, you can literally not even target the boss, or not even target the guy. If you press the right key, like so, focus kick. Which are target interrupt, while not targeting them. Sorry, that's English. I should stop speaking nerd when I do these videos. So, that's not the only thing in this menu. You go all the way to the bottom, prioritize low threat, prioritize interruptible. I showcased these in my settings video. Turn both of these on, call it a day. Prioritize interruptible means anything that is casting a spell. If you're tabbing through your targets, like so, if it's got a spell cast, it will prioritize that one. So then you can use your manual press interrupt to hit that. So I need to invite my healer very quickly. So, make sure to set that keybind, and then after that, make sure to also set the prioritize low threat. So threat is what allows you to hold aggro on the mobs. What that means in human terms is there is a hidden percentage of how much damage and how much control you have over the mobs before they decide to go and attack somebody else. The threat to a mob is basically who it's attacking. The more damage DPS do to it, the higher threat they'll generate. and the more damage you do to a mob, the more threat that you will generate. Now, tanks in Fellowship by default generate 300% more threat over every other role, just by nature of being a tank, which is absolutely fantastic, which means you only need to use 1 or 2 spells to pick up mobs and have them attack you, which is very, very useful. So the best way to do that is to use your AoE spells, because like I said, you will have 300% threat generation across the board. However, if you manage to drop 1 or 2 because someone did a big crit, you can then use Prioritize Low Threat to auto-tab to the guy, and then hit your taunt. Taunt is literally, taunt right here, taunt the target for 6 seconds, and it will force a target to attack you. So this is how you can control a mob from long range. It has very, very good range, and also is mouse over targeting, right? So you can use it manually with pressing it while it's on a target like this, and it will taunt like that, or you can use mouse over. Right click, mouse over targeting. Should be enabled by default. If it's not, go through and do that every single time. This will allow you to control mobs and pull mobs from a very specific distance. I'm going to be doing a gameplay showcase during this video a little bit later in that I'll be using my range taunt to control mobs. Now, other options she has, she can do the exact same thing to pull. She can use her taunt, use shield throw, which will pull them to you if you want them to be at your position, or you can go to them with charge. Now, the important thing about tanking is actually not so much the rotation and whatnot, it's where you put the mobs and how you control the mobs and then how you mitigate damage. It's not about damage dealt whatsoever. Anyone who says tank low DPS has no fucking idea what they're doing, right? It does not make a difference if tank DPS is low, that's the DPS's job. Your job is to control the key and to lead effectively, as well as be able to entirely have the whole team follow you due to relatively good leadership and hopefully a bit of confidence in there. By the end of this, hopefully you're confident enough to at least take on some early contender. So, with that being said, let's go through Helena and what she can do very, very quickly. I have a whole Helena guide and multiple different builds and whatnot. I'm playing a shield slam build because that's just what I enjoy using. Is it the best? Probably not, but it's fun. So, Helena ulti is going to give you a bunch of damage and reduced damage, so you want to pop this early. Damage reductions want to be used at around 70% health on a big pull, because if you know you're going to be taking, if you know you're going to be tanking a lot of mobs, use it early, because then you're going to get more value, since you're going to get a lot of attacks thrown at you very, 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 very quickly. So you want to try and get as much out of the window as is humanly possible. So pop it when you're doing big pulls. Same thing with shields up. This is your block chance and toughness for your toughness meter here. Higher the toughness meter, less damage you take. So you want to try and keep that as high as possible. And each time you block an attack, you'll generate 3 toughness, and this will give you your block chance. So, blocks will cut damage, I think 25%, 50%. I don't know the exact math. You can't really... Does it say here? Increase the chance to block when facing the enemy, which, yes, you have to also face them. You can't be standing behind like this. So positioning like this does actually matter. So when you're running away from mobs, you can't block as well. You can't block or parry. You can dodge, though, I think, still. But you can't block or parry. And it'll reduce the attack by 15% and an additional flat reduction equal to 15% of your total armor value. Okay, so I overestimated block in World of Warcraft. It's like 25 to like 30% if you can crit block, if not higher. But yes, 15% damage reduction from the front. So you want to make sure you're always controlling mobs like this, which is why I literally don't have my S key bound. You don't want to back up generally. You want to run sideways while carrying mobs while like facing back towards them, right? So then you always have your front as close to them as humanly possible, so you can always be blocking. I need one more DPS if someone from stream chat wants to pop in while I finish the commentary. If not, we'll just solo queue one, or like group queue one, and I'll explain it as I go. So, how to pick up mobs on Helena. You want to keep your toughness as high as possible, but you want to open with a big threat generating ability. This is the same thing for Miko. You want to, on your mount, go through, grab whatever mobs you are going to do for a big pull, group them all up, land, immediately use an AoE. Because you want to be the first one off your mount to immediately gather aggro, right? So you'll hit things with 300% threat generation, They will all focus you, and they will all surround you, generally like this. Now, you'll see the problem with this, right? Is with everything I just told you, I'll give you a second. This is proactive learning here. What can I not do? Alright, if you said block this guy, you're in business. You're a tank main already. So, what you do, you come off the mount, you slam the barricade, or the shield, or the shockwave, and then you position the mobs, like so, shields up. Because now you've got block chance, right? All of them are coming in, they're all slamming into the shield, all taking down the toughness meter because you're taking damage, but they're all going into the shield block chance. And then from here, you've now AoE'd everything, so you have 300% threat generation. So in case of my build, still playing Shield Slam, which I will put a build up after this, because I haven't done one just yet, I would then use my next biggest AoE abilities, which are Shield Slam and Shield Throw, depending on what you build for. There's a Shield Throw build on the channel, if you're curious. If you're a prop paladin player, this will be for the prop warriors. So Shield Slam does AoE damage, which is absolutely incredible. I don't think I could ever go back to prop warrior in WoW, because I don't think it does AoE in WoW. But this hits everything in a cone, so you can use Shield Slam all the time to generate both toughness and a shit ton of threat, because it is a full AoE ability. Now, as you go up the tiers, you'll gain access to Iron Wall, Hold the Line, and Grand Melee. Grand Melee is the best button in the game, and I will show you why during the key. And Hold the Line is the next best button she has access to, because Hold the Line gives you a massive absorb. You will be able to tell the difference in early keys between Helenas that have Grand Melee and Hold the Line unlocked, and ones that don't. The ones with Hold the Line unlocked will be a whole lot fucking tankier than the ones who don't. The same thing with if you have a Sithral weapon, because there's a Sithral weapon that gives you an 80k absorb shield, or I think it's like 48k to 50k. It depends how high eye level you get it, I'm pretty sure. I think it scales. So, this will make it so that you can get a massive absorb that will also stack with the Hold the Line buff, but that's for more like build guide stuff as time goes on. So, like I said, control the pack, move to the right spot, and then make use of line of sight. So, for example, if this guy is a caster, if I'm standing like this, he has line of sight to my character, and he can cast his spells. So what if the enemies, if I move over here, right, like this, these enemies are going to walk over here to me and beat the shit out of me. However, this is terrible positioning for my DPS and for me at the same time, because the caster is sitting over here. I can't kick the caster, which is bash here. Kick is a universal term for interrupt, which means that if I'm dealing with this guy, even if I taunt him, he still wouldn't run over to me, right? So this is now shit because my DPS can't AoE all of them together. So what you use is line of sight. If I stand right here, just like this, all of a sudden our rank goes up a whole tier. Because what happens now is these mobs will walk all the way over here, and because I am line of sight on this guy, he is going to try and throw his spell, and it's going to say a line of sight not available. It'll cancel his cast, and then he will have to autopilot AI pathing into range for the cast. Think about it in terms of like code, right? Target not in line of sight, walk into line of sight. Walk into line of sight means walking this way, all the way until he stood here. Because think about it, they will take the shortest path to you, right? We don't have the fucking AI yet for it to go this way and then target you from here. When it can do that, then they're going to kill us all at that point. But we don't have that level of AI, so it will forcibly walk this way around to here, because this is its next closest point to be able to cast on you. So then, if you'll note where imaginarily everything would be, it would all be in the group here. So now, keep in mind, we are in front of everything. Shield block here, and then start shield slamming and AoEing and shockwaving and what have you. So you'll see me multiple times on my mount, because now we put all of this together, right? So you come in on your mount, grab the pack, caster, melee's following you, run to the pillar, stand at the pillar, behind the pillar, make sure your shields up in front of everybody, wait, pull all the mobs to you in front of you, get back in line of sight of your healer, right? Who's, friendly dummy over here. There you go. That fits solo queue for all you toxic fuckers out there. You get right in line of your healer. Now you have shield block up. because you used it here. All of the mobs are stacked here for your DPS. Your healer isn't line of sighting you. Everybody loves the tank. Absolutely incredible. So, we put all of that together, and then we do our AoE rotation right here of putting our AoE bleed up, which will do constant threat generation. So always lead with big AoE and then big damage over time effect in this case. Miko doesn't have any AoE like that, but she instead has her AoE aura, which is very, very good for picking stuff up, because you can just walk over your allies and just passively pick up the mobs from there. So, with that being said, I think that is the ultimate beginner's tank guide. So now, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to tank a key, and I'm going to live comm the entire thing with my whole thought process of exactly what I'm doing and why. On Helena, I currently have an Ancient Wardstone and a potion. I think these are actually S-tier trinkets. Take a look at the Fellowship tier list. But these are going to change how I play the portal, how I play the keys across the board, because being able to remove stuff on Helena is so nice, because I can adjust my pathing, which is the next part of tanking that I'll show you in a key, because I have this singular item. This means I can take different paths and pull big in certain places where I could not do that otherwise. And that's not just, I suppose that's literally a trinket diff or gear diff at that point, but still. Also, this is the queue, by the way. Like I said, 2%. If you're watching this, it's your time. Okay, I'll give it one invite from the friends list if you want onto this friends list. The invite, the code is right here. So let's go down the list, see if we get a DPS. If we don't, we solo queue it. I want to get to a point where this list is so long, I scroll down and it breaks. We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay. Give it a few seconds. Nobody? Alright, fuck it, we ball. So, other thing is that what will normally happen is people will pick whatever key the tank wants to do. In this case, since I'm tanking, I want to do an Empyrean 4. But the YOLO DPS wants to do a Stormwatch 6. Got room for my archer? Yes, I do. If you can friend me and be online in the next 5 seconds, I will reset the group, and I will troll this random, and I'll get you in here. You're 200th in queue? Okay, then you're cooked. So in this case, I'm going to choose to go Empyrean Sands, because I have one of 2 set pieces.
You are captured!
Thank you very much for the Twitch follow. How light. Appreciate you. I'm currently recording an ultimate tank guide, so if you want to listen in on learning how to tank, there's currently 2% of the population as tanks, so we may need one at some point. So in this case, what I was saying is that the DPS are going to choose to do whatever they're going to do. I genuinely think that the tank should have choice of this no matter what. This shouldn't even be a vote, because what's happening is people are choosing to tank, getting into a game. All of the fucking people are clicking the highest difficulty possible because they want the best loot. The tank is then immediately leaving because they have tankxiety. So 50-50 on this. Don't be an asshole. Don't forcibly click the highest key, and then don't be surprised when your tank fucking leaves because he can't do the key and he's scared. So, in this case, we're going to do an Empyrean Sands 4, not because I'm a scared bitch, but because the loot is better here. I have done everything all the way up to, you know, +7, and I plan on going higher. Well, I don't think this Helena's done fucking +7 yet, but... Already have me on friends? Alright, perfect, even better. You just missed the fucking chance to get in, though. So, I do have people from stream here, so you can, you know, bitch about, oh my god, it's a 4-stack, whatever, okay. I'll do a solo queue video as well if you want me to. I'll do an Ultimate Beginner's solo queue tanking guide as well. But, I'll show you the path that I've been using for this, which feel free to critique in the comments below. So we're going to pull this, we're going to pull this, and we're going to do exactly what I just told you before. Pull all of these. We grab the one archer here. We walk right to line of sight, spin around, stand right here. Put my hold the line up. Make sure I'm not lining my healer. We grand melee right here. AoE everything. It said losing threat, so we hit our shockwave. And then we cleave everything down like so. You'll see I just did everything that I just talked about. Grabbed all the mobs on my mount, ran them all to line of sight, got them all into the right spot, using line of sight, and then walked right back in front of my healer and started doing the AoE rotation. So, now, the reason I know to do this is because I've done this dungeon multiple times, which is the tank pathing. So I know the exact route of where I want to go. Each one of these mobs on the map gives you kill score, which you can also see when you mouse over them, which then allows you to math out and plan out the route. Because people are going to get mad at you if you're not going ultra fast or using XYZ streamer's route. Fuck them. Do what you want. You're the tank. They're following you. They want to bitch about it, they can tank. Which is evidently why they're not, because they're too fucking scared. So, we run through, pull everything, walk it back to here. Make sure our team's on top of us and we're not trolling. Then we're going to AoE bleed everything for threat. AoE everything for threat. Sidestep the mechanic. Aim the pack away from your team in case there's any of the soul piercers, because those are the projectiles. Now, you'll see I've done this in a specific way. And the reason I've done this in a specific way is because these mobs, these magi, do spells that I know from experience can wipe solo queue groups. They cast a spell called Constellation of Ruin, which you're going to see one of in my path, which can fuck the entire team if it's not kicked. Well, Constellation of Ruin can't be kicked, but they cast Centauri's Wrath, which will absolutely ruin your day. So in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a big pull. I trust Manny. We'll see if he dies. We pull these. We pull him to the pillar. Then we're gonna shields up. We're gonna AoE everything. I don't have grand melee for 2 seconds, which is a shame. Fortunately, Centauri's Wrath goes off there. He needs to move. He's gonna get killed by it. Oh well, I believe. My bad. We might have enough damage though. See if I can run back. Okay, back this way. Ah, fuck. Well, unfortunate. I believed a little too hard. I was gonna do that in halves, but... Alright, fine. It happens. Let him reset. So let's do this way. I tried to catch this pack, because what you should do is you should pull this and that pack at the same time. We'll do it this way instead. We'll grab this. We'll grab these. Pull them over here. Oh, so that doesn't actually bounce. See, I'm learning something new with every pass. So in this scenario, I know that I want to pick these up as well. So we pull them back here. Also, if you die in Fellowship, you literally lose no key percent. Neither my DPS kicked the Acolyte, unfortunately. We're all shitters in here, it's fun. We're all learning. So if you can't tank, nothing to worry about whatsoever. I need to pull that off of him. Group these up. What the fuck? My guy is going for a walk. Move the melee over to the Rangers. This pillar is not playing nice. Fortunately, I'm aiming that towards the team. Well, my guys just kind of do what they want. He's going for a walk as well. He walks all the way around to cleave my entire team. Bro, I'm getting trolled by AI here. Oh well. That's the thing about tanking. Nothing's ever going to be flawless. But they will try to blame you anyways. So you need to just accept, unfortunately, that you will probably wind up pissing some people off. You will have snowflakes in your group. That is how group content goes nowadays, because people don't have mental fortitude. You are playing a tank because you most likely do have mental fortitude. Otherwise, you wouldn't put yourself through the pain. Although it is a very fun role. Healing and tanking are both very, very fun roles. It is unfortunately the asshole-ish people you have to play with sometimes that make them not very fun roles. So we're going to pull everything here. So I'm going to stand on this corner. I'm going to cast Grand Melee, which is going to make it so that everything cannot cast. I'm going to pop my barrier so that my healer can heal behind me. Put my big AoE up. And then we need to be very careful and keep an eye on this Greed Spawn Sentinel. I'm actually going to ult here. Pick the Greed's Embrace. Let me keep the DPSing through here. Spell the reductions. Unfortunately, my DPS didn't kick the Centauri's Embrace there. But we're clearing through perfectly fine. Now, I believe we should be more than fine. Pick that Greed's Embrace. Otherwise, we're going to take AoE damage. And 7.3%. We should be okay, I think. So we're then going to grab this. Welcome back, my guy. 3k in Q. Ooh. We're going to grab this. We're going to shield pull this. This is the only guy who does Constellation of Ruin. We're going to grab him, and then we're going to line of sight at just the right angle. So now his Shadow Bolt doesn't cast, see? We're going to block right here. I'm going to take the spell. And we're going to force them into range. Now, I need to block like this. So this guy comes in. And then we pick up everything again. Like so. There's Constellation of Ruin. I can't cancel it, unfortunately. Everyone has to take a soak puddle. We all take one. Good job, boys. You'll have to see it. Kick the Shadow Bolt. Try and avoid the projectile. They all fired at my healer. God hates us. I may have accidentally done that. I'm not too sure how these mobs work, but that was just inconvenient spacing. Or it's my fault. As a tank, just accept, well, it's probably my fault in the first place. If you just accept responsibility for everything and say, yes, sire, everything is my fault, it doesn't matter if you fucking believe it or not, it'll shut up your shitter DPS. It'll be fine. Let's go. This should be enough, I hope. I'm pretty sure. Oh, now we should want more. I fucked up. I don't know. We got time. We're fine. Unfortunate. Oh, actually, no, that was lucky. We fucking. We are good. $99.23. Ugh. I missed one mob, bro. I missed one mob. Unfortunate. Well, and this is a perfect showcase to explain the draw of tanking. So now I need to add one mob to the route. So do I pick up the two? I pick up the 2-pack right here instead of what I did here where I died. This is how you get tank replayability. You optimize the path now. So instead of what I did, you're probably in the comments going, "Oh my god, you passed this so wrong. You should do this into this into this into this into this." Yes. You should tank, and you should do exactly that. We need more like you who can think like that, because other people can't, so this is your calling. As I said, this was a psychological psyop the whole time. I fucked up the key to make sure I could turn you into a tank, man. Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. Okay, let's go. So, in that case, I pull this in halves. I pull this, and then in the second half, I pull the 2 mages, and I pull these 2 over here, and then I do the exact same path, clear this, and we're good to go. Or alternatively, you call me a fuckhead in the comments, say XYZ path is better, and then go get on a tank, and you join the 2% of tanks. Which I will take the hit to my ego if it means more people get to play Fellowship. Now we're gonna go into the boss. Unfortunately, I don't have my turbo pumper DPS from chat, who can one-cycle this boss, so we are going to have to do the mechanic. Which, keep in mind, you saw earlier that there was the tank buster, which most bosses have a tank buster, which is the line mechanic. In this case, you have to deal with the step-in, step-out mechanic, and then you also know, another thing you also have to deal with is this Soul Seer. So this is a tank buster. However, I'm running that into my Alarian. I am fucking garbage. You'd love to see it. If you aim it in just the right spot, it will also make it so that it will destroy the orbs. Fun fact, this boss changes your camera angle, apparently, if you get too close to him. That's fun. Oh my god, that's fucking with me now. Ew. I like how they give you a disadvantage if your back is tanking to the boss. Like, they condition you to play this game so fucking well. I love it. The game design team is absolute S tier. So I'll pop my damage reduction.
You are captured.
And there we go. We'll say flawless because I psychologically conditioned you to optimize the key because I fucked it up when you called me trash. That, my friends, is how you create tank players. Or cover over a mistake. You'll never know. And there we go. And then like a real Chad, you die to the chest. Tank.